everyone. I'm Rochelle Clausen.
And I'm Nicole Trombley. We're the co-directors of Anatomyscapes, and we write the Anatomy for Touch column here at Massage Bodywork magazine.
The problem of low back pain is a very familiar one to massage therapists and even to medical doctors. And yet the source of back pain is sometimes not so easy to solve. When issues like muscle imbalance or disc issues or even nerve impingement have been ruled out, oftentimes low back pain still persists. So where's it coming from?
Well, researchers are starting to look at a tissue that has previously not really been considered before, the thoracolumbar fascia.
In this issue of the Massage Bodywork magazine, we're going to examine this slightly lesser known tissue a little more closely to see if perhaps it holds the key to unlocking the mystery of low back pain.
And we're going to talk a little bit about jelly sandwiches too.
You'll see why. So enjoy this clip that we've prepared for you that comes from one of our courses on the thoracolumbar fascia.
And don't forget to check out our webinar in the ABMP Continuing Education Center called Understanding Fascia's Role in Low Back Pain.
That's right. So thanks so much for watching and enjoy the clip. And now on with today's topic. So can the thoracolumbar fascia feel pain? Having nerve endings is one thing, and then those nerve endings receiving information that talk about pain in particular, this is the next step. So that's what we're going to go into now, another layer of more research that's been done on this particular thing, because I don't know if you guys know this or not, but low back pain is a global issue. It is so pervasive as an issue that there is actually a low back pain and pelvic girdle pain research congress where all the people that are studying fascia or studying low back pain gather every 2 years, and it's been going on for over 20 years. So I was able to go to the one in Singapore several years ago, and that was a great trip, first of all. A lot of fun. But second of all, I was just blown away to hear presenters from Norway and Korea and Africa all talking about low back pain and how it's an issue that is everywhere. And they're still struggling to figure out the source, how to prevent it, how to fix it. So it's a thing, but is it coming from the lumbar fascia? So that's our question here.
Okay, so this piece, 2014, this was a great one on his shoulder. So note the syringe over there. They actually wanted to find out, can the thoracolumbar fascia actually feel pain? So they took
How do we find this out? You can't find it out in the dissection lab because it's not going to be a living nervous system.
So the sensory findings after stimulation of the thoracolumbar fascia. They say stimulation, I say irritation.
Irritation.
Right. So they took a couple different saline solutions, one of them hypertonic, known to irritate, and they injected in volunteers who completely consented to be irritated into their over the thoracolumbar fascia into their subcutaneous fat, ultrasound guided into the thoracolumbar fascia itself, that posterior layer that we're talking about, and then deeper into the actual muscle. Okay, so we've got muscle, fascia, and subcutis. And this is what they found.
Next slide. Here it comes.
Right?
Ta-da.
Deep fascia, deep pain. And so this image on the right with the flames coming out of it, at the top, we've got the subcutis and fascia and then muscle at the bottom. And you can see, as you can imagine, the dark areas that are indicated here are the most intense areas of pain. The subcutis had a fair amount of pain. The deep fascia had the most pain. It was actually felt a little bit around the side to the front of the body as well. Muscle also had pain, but it was a much more of a dull, achy pain, whereas the deep fascia was described as burning, stinging, sharp pain. And the subcutis was a little bit to some extent, but the deep fascia was the most painful region, and it lasted the longest. Shocking?
I mean, maybe not, because we're sort of like getting the story is where we're going with this. I also think that those words are sometimes interesting because sometimes we just associate like those stabbing or sharp or those kinds of words maybe with like, oh, it's nerve pain, it must be a compressed nerve. And it's like, or this is characteristic of the types of sensations that are felt when pain is being generated within the fascial tissue. And sometimes that's informative. I mean, there's no exact science because obviously everyone's going to use their own language to be able to describe things, but being given an option of words to use, there was a definite like focusing on these words that were much more dramatic And actually, Robert Schleich talks about this, is that there were very almost hyperbolic about it, where it was sort of like there was an urgency of tragedy and emotion behind it when they were talking about the kind of pain that was felt in fascia versus what you would feel in muscle as being sore or tender or that kind of thing.
I think someone used the word horrifying.
Horrifying. What a great choice of words. Yeah. So if these words are coming out of your clients, you might want to back out, because maybe it's not in the muscle. Maybe it's in something before you get to the muscle. Just something to think about and how that may apply.